Good morning, afternoon, and evening from wherever you are listening. Welcome back to the Breakevens podcast. As always, my name is Corey, and with me is Jack.
Hello.
So, Jack, round 9 is over, and some big talking points. Number one, we were just talking just off recording about Leon Cameron. So, for those who don't know, if you're hiding under a rock, he got the sack / he decided to quit. And is it Mark McVeigh that's taking over?
I think so, yeah.
And he's already dropped Hamilton and Whitfield. So bring back Leon, hashtag it. Another interesting point is Jack Steele is out for 6 to 8 weeks with a shoulder, which means those who have him are going to have to burn another trade. And I'll get into what I'm doing with my trades in a second. So, again, thank you all for your ongoing support. I don't know if you saw, Jack, but 200 followers on Twitter. So
I did see that this morning, actually.
yeah, so that's nuts. So thank you to everyone who has followed, who has interacted, and yeah, just keep those follows coming, and don't forget Trade Talk Tuesdays. Put your trades in, what you're thinking. Yes, it's early on in the week and we're waiting for teams and stuff, but put your trades in so we can all have a chat about it. We had a nice chat with someone the other day about, was it Cornelio possibly? Anyway, it went on for a fair bit. We're just going back and forth what our thoughts were. So yeah, make sure every Tuesday you guys put your trades in there. You can follow us on Twitter at BreakEvensPod, and we're also on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. Just search the Breakevens and we will be there. So today's podcast, same old, hot colds, break-evens, which are starting to become a little bit irrelevant when we get closer to the buys because everyone's filling out their teams. But we'll let you know those rookies and any fallen primos. And also we'll go through our personal teams, what we're thinking trade-wise, and the break-evens team as well. So, Jack, how did you fare this week? Well, last week.
Actually, pretty good.
Yeah.
I was in the you know how it has like the round 9 score and the percentage?
Yep.
I was in the top 1%.
Nice.
I scored 2,363.
Oh, nice.
I jumped up 12,614 in the season rank.
Oh, shit.
I'm now 23,276.
You're 6,000 ahead of me right now.
Yeah, sucked in. Funny enough, my projected score for next round is 2,484.
Jeez.
Talking about trades, I did the 2. Hugh Dixon, I did some bloody Harry Potter wizardry, got him down to Greg Clark with, even though he's out this week, moving Hamilton into the forward line on the bench.
Yeah.
And then I jumped Jack Steele up to the Brownlow medalist Callum Mills.
Okay, nice. So I had my worst score probably in a few years that it hasn't been a buy round. I scored 2,095. If I look at my side here, I had captain on Clary, who only scored 99.
I had him as well. I had 99.
I had Carroll on field, I believe. I was going to loophole McComb, but McComb only scored 41, so I was like, I'll risk it with Carroll. He scored 28. Cripps only scored 83 because Jack, you brought him in.
Yeah, I did say he was going to have a stinker, and he did, so I
Yeah.
didn't lie to you.
Sam Hayes scored 55. Canelio scored 37. Nick Martin scored 59. And Lockie Whitfield scored fucking shit house as well. So it wasn't a great round for me. Oh, and also I had Steele's 75. So let me go here. Up until probably about 30 minutes ago, Jack, I was only using
Yep.
2 trades, and I've decided to use my 4th trade boost.
You've used 4.
I'm using my 4th. So what I'm thinking is Nathan O'Driscoll out for Greg Clark. Jack Steele, I had Callum Mills to replace him, but I've changed that and I've gone Rory Laird.
Okay.
Just because I think Laird's a bit more of a consistent scorer. Obviously, Mills has the highest ceiling because he's double tonned up, but he also has those
167 this week.
Yeah, but he also has those games where he goes below 80, where Laird, you can basically back him in for 100 each week. And, he might go 140s, 150s. And it saves me 30K. And Lockie Whitfield, I decided to trade because he's out this week. I'm finally getting rid of him, and I brought in Sam Doherty.
Oh, nice.
So that's what I'm looking at the moment. So use my 4th trade boost, and now all I need is 2 defenders, 1 midfield, and possibly 2 forwards. Because of Canelio, I don't think he's a keeper anymore, but I'm waiting for this week because he's been named in the midfield. So, so my team's getting there. I thought it was in a good place last week, but still going down has sort of changed that. So, all right. Now, VC and C, I haven't really done the numbers. I've been pretty busy this week. For those who don't know, we're actually recording this on the Thursday, the day after our usual day, just because I've been a busy man. So I haven't been able to look into the VC and Cs, but what I've done myself is I've looked at Clayton Oliver, who plays the Twilight game on Saturday versus North Melbourne. I've basically booked him in there for VC, and for captain, I've gone Lockie Neal against Hawthorn. Some other options would be obviously Jack McRae against Gold Coast. For those who are feeling risky, who have brought in Laird, you can go Laird against St Kilda. For those even riskier, like people who have Josh Kelly, like you, Jack, playing West Coast as captain, or you can go Andy Brayshaw against Collingwood because we leak points in the midfield. So so VC Clary into Neil. I'm going to back that. As we move to the Breakevens team, we scored 2,120, so we're now ranked 43,726. And also, for those who don't know, I'm now ranked 29,000, so I've dropped down a little bit, but hopefully through the buys I can get back up there. So Breakevens team, we haven't spoken about it, Jack, but we do have Steele. We do have a weaker forward line, so we'll probably have to possibly get rid of Martin. Potentially anyway. And we have Hugh Dixon there, so we'll have to talk about that. But it could be a possible boost for the Breakevens team, which means we would have used our third one. And I think VC and C will probably just stick to Oliver and Neil, because that usually works out most of the time. Alrighty.
Just real quickly, I've gone a little different with my VC and C.
Oh, okay.
I've gone Mills vice captain against Carlton.
Okay.
He seems to step up against a tougher opponent. This game, they thought Sydney Essendon was going to be a close game, and he pretty much won the game for Sydney in the midfield. I've gone Mills over Clary, and I've got Neil captain because it's Lockie Neil.
Yep, fair. All right, so we'll go into the hot and cold. So I had the first game because it was Collingwood versus the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs won by 48 points. I thought we were in with a chance, but we were blown out pretty early and didn't really get back into the game. So the hots for Collingwood: Jeremy Howe 110, Jack Crisp 100.
Yeah, he did.
I'll put your boy in here, Jack. Pat Lipinski 96. The Colds: Jordan De Goey 77. I'm going to put Nick Dacos in here 69. It's almost time for him to go. He will have a rest at some stage, which I've said the last few weeks. Hopefully that is around the buys, but if he keeps pumping out 75s to 80s, his price won't change that much. It'll go down a bit, but then he'll bring it back up. Taylor Adams 55. And Bo McCreary 13 and Aiden Beck 10. As we move over to the break evens for the pies, people of any relevance, which there isn't really too many, because Beg's out this week, so he has a break even of 40 anyway. Darcy Cameron, a few people have jumped on with Grundy being out. He's gone 100 plus and a 90, so he's got a break even of 44. Jeremy Howjack 65. Nick Dacos 75 break even. So as I said, he won't really move up and down that much. Crisp 108, Pedals 108, and that's really all of relevance as we move over to the Bulldogs. Let me get it up here. So the Bulldogs, obviously they beat us by 48 points, so they're going to have much higher scores. Adam Treloar, Jack 149. You would have liked that.
Loved it.
Bailey Smith 144, and I'm going to speak about Bailey Smith in a second after all this. Tom Liberatore 128, Marcus Bontempelli 125, Josh Dunkley 118, Jack McRae 117, Bailey Dale 113, Caleb Daniel 111, Aaron Norton 104, Jordan Sweet 98. Buku Karmas, I'm going to put in 66, absolutely dominated early on. And the first gamer, Luke Cleary, I'm going to put him here, 61. Has kept his spot. He looked pretty good, so 117k defender there. As we move to the Colds, there wasn't really many Colds, so I'm actually not going to say anyone. As we move to the break evens, Buku Karmas, negative 32. Is he an option? I'd probably say no, only because he scored 66, and he kicked 3 goals. So apart from those 3 goals, he wasn't really getting the ball that much, wasn't really scoring. He did have a shit 50-meter penalty against him, so he did lose some points there. So it could have been a 75.
Oh, that was a joke.
But he's not going to kick 3 goals every week. He could be someone there you just have on your bench just in case, but I don't know if he holds his spot. Josh Bruce back in 4 to 5 weeks, so see how that goes. As I said, Luke Cleary's played 1 game, he's got negative 14. Robin McComb, negative 1. So he's going to make some dosh there. Adam Trelaw, 68 for those who are looking to jump on. Tom Liberatore, who's averaging 102 at the moment. Breaking him to 85, he could be someone you could pick up and could be a keeper. The Bond, 97. And funny enough, he's still on 37% time forward. So just a few more. So 2 more games. As long as he doesn't play pure mid in those 2 games, he should be all right for that forward status. Jack McRae, 104. And Josh Dunkley, 152. And that's all I've got for that game. I did want to speak about Bailey Smith, actually, who I didn't say he's break even. I don't know why. Where is it? Where is Smith? I seem to have lost him. Bailey Smith. So, break even is 71. Is 532k right now. Still out, which isn't great. Is basically guaranteed forward DPP. So if you're thinking of obviously getting rid of Steele, you could get Bailey Smith. Then in a few weeks, you could switch him forward. He has really soft draw coming up, and he's dominating at the moment. So if he keeps getting that mid time, he could easily be top 8, top 6 to top 8 forward, and you can get him at a cheapish price because he'll be close to 600k soon if he goes big in the next 2 games. So you could do that, or if you're trying to get rid of Cornelio, you can switch Cornelio forward, not forward, into the midfield, get him there, and then switch him back later. So just something to think about there. All right, Jack, you want to take the next game, which was Hawthorn versus Richmond?
Yeah, so Richmond won by 23 points. It's another week where it should have been a blowout, but we put our foot off the pedal going into the last quarter, and it almost cost us the game. Potts for Hawthorn, Sicily 141. He went huge, even though he couldn't defend in a one-on-one contest all game. And Jarman MP 102. Potts for the Tigers. Tom Lynch has done it again, 125.
Bought him in draft. Yes, boys.
I'm quite not annoyed, but like shattered I didn't go that risky route because he jumped at he's one of the highest priced forwards now just from this game, which especially like if Bont and stuff get DPP and Lynch starts to drop down a bit, it's just a straight sideways swap to them who's going to be consistent.
Yep.
The next one, he's back. Dustin Martin, 119. From that game alone, 5,146 people have jumped on him at 509k.
Yeah, I think it's a bit early to jump on the Dustin trade.
He did kick, what was it, 3? He kicked 3 goals for the game, which he had no he had Sam Frost as a defender all day. Like, you're not going to get much worse than that going forward. So his scores might fluctuate a bit, if that's even the right word.
That's the right word.
Nank 108. He's found form, Supercoach form, I should say, because he's been great all year. But I think it's the last 3 or 4 weeks now he's hit the ton. And then lastly, Shy Bolton 102. Into the cold, Jack Gunston ankle. I haven't seen the injury report, but the fears game day was syndesmosis. I'm not sure if it is or not. But yeah, no, that's not good for him or the Hawks. Butler on debut only scored 18. And my boy Dylan Moore copped a fantastic clean bump, played on, and only scored 56. For Richmond side of things, Noah Bolter did his hammy. He was sticking his tongue out laughing, but he's out for 4 to 6 weeks, which isn't great. Jack Graham is a hit or miss this week with a toe injury. He's got a training session tomorrow to get through to play, but he has been named.
He has been named, has he?
Yeah. Maurice had a fantastic 1%ers game, and 1%ers don't count in Supercoach for some reason, as he got 7 Supercoach. And Jaden Short played half forward for majority of the game and had I think it's the lowest score of the season for him with an 88.
Did he have a 57?
He might have. I haven't fully checked, but he hasn't had many low ones, that's for sure.
Let me have a look. He scored a 56 against Adelaide. The rest have been over 100.
Yeah. Getting into the break-evens, Sicily 76. Dusty's got a break-even of 98. The two of them, you'd think, get it. Dusty, he's coming back. You know, it's his 3rd game back. It's hard to tell how he's going to play. Jaden Short, 138. I don't think he's going to reach those heights, but expect him to bounce back and turn up. He's been named in the midfield this week.
You're playing Essendon though, and I think he usually scores pretty well.
Yeah, and he's playing midfield against Essendon, not half back against Essendon. Josh Gibcus is back this week. He's got the break even of 48 for people who still have him. Maurice, we were just talking about, he went from minus 91 break even to 20.
Shocking.
The last 2 I've chucked in, Nathan Broad, he had another 90 this week. His break even's a 77. And Nick Vlostian, who had his lowest score of the year of a 96, his break even's 108. I still think those two are decent options in defence. And that's all I've got for the Tigers with another win.
Another win. Awesome. So I've got North Melbourne versus Port Adelaide. So Port obviously won by 69 points. This is getting worse for North Melbourne. The Hots, I've got to name 3 people here. Luke Davies, Uniac, outscores Hugh Greenwood once again with 113. Todd Goldstein.
Hugh Greenwood didn't play.
Yeah, exactly. He outscored him 113 points. Todd Goldstein, 103. But the Cherry Bomb's back for those who kept him, which I don't think many should have. So Goldstein might be on the way back down. And I'm going to put Cam Zerha in with a 98. You know what? Josh Walker, 91 as well. I'm feeling generous.
Josh Walker, great player.
The Colds, Luke McDonald, only 63. I'm going to put Jaden Stevenson here. He scored 53, but he's been dropped. Paul Curtis, 40. And that's all the colds that I'm going to name for North Melbourne. Just most of the team anyway. As we move on to the break evens here. Paul Curtis, 27. So not great. We need a big score from him to restart that. Cherry, 33. As I said, he's just come back. Horn Francis is back with a 61 break even, but I'm guessing most people jumped off of him anyway. And Jai Simpkin, 133. If anyone's thinking about jumping on him, which I don't see why you would, because he's disappointed basically. As we move to Port Adelaide, so we'll go the hots for Port Adelaide. Ollie Wines, 155. He was back this week.
What was I saying last week about Ollie Wines? He has a slow start. He always has a slow start. Then around midway through the season, he goes bang, 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 and he's gone. Yeah, Jack, mate, I heard ya. Here you go, son. He's 155 for you.
Sam Powell, Salt and Pepper, 131. Cull Amon, 117. Connor Rosie, 116. Darcy Byrne Jones, 114. Todd Marshall, 108. Willem Drew, 107. Ryan Burton, 106. Stevie Motlup, 105. Zach Butters from South Park, 104. And Robbie, 50 Shades of Grey, 101. And I'm going to put Finlayson, 98 in there. Alir, 95, and Georgiadis, 93. As we move over to the cold, Sam Hayes, 55 is the only one, I guess, to name. As we move over to the break even, Sam Hayes has a break even of 10, which means he's still got plenty of money to make there. Ollie Wines, 59, so 540k is the cheapest he'll be for a while unless he gets injured. Zach Butters, 91, playing against Geelong. Let's hope he returns to some form. And Dan Houston, 120. As we move on to your next game, Jack, which was St Kilda versus Geelong.
The Saints won by 10 in an upset.
Yeah, big upset.
Going in the hot, Brad Crouch, 140. I've put a little note here. He's only gone under 95 once, which was a score of 49. But he's averaging 103.4. He's a sneaky one who's gone big a lot, but he's also scored a couple of high 90s and the 49, which has brought his average down.
Yep.
But he's a sneaky, risky pick for people who like a pod at M8. Jade Gresham bounced back with 115. Jack Sinclair is back in the tons with 107.
And could stay there with Steele out.
Yep. Callum Wilkie, 102. Seb Ross and I think it's Daniel McKenzie, 100. And I had to put him in here because you have been abusing him every week. Paddy Ryder, he's gone and done the Vegeta, brought out the fake blue moon and scored a 94. And hots for Geelong, Tommy Stewart, 113, doing Tommy Stewart things. The Tomahawk is back in business with 108. Joel Ducky Selwood got 107. Mark Blitzar's got 104. And Zach Tui Tunda with a flat 100. Going into the colds, Snag Higgins, another concussion, which is sad with his whole backstory and stuff.
Yeah.
Jack Steele, obviously, with that AC joint, 2 months, was it?
Yeah, two to
Yeah.
3, depending on recovery.
Rowan Marshall, 82, must have been the Paddy Ryder show. For Geelong, Dangerfield, 69. Tyson Stengel, 36. And then I've chucked Jeremy Cameron down with a 61. He's been scoring hundreds the last few weeks, so he's dropped a bit. Getting into the break-evens, Nevitt, I think that's how you say it. He's kept his spot and he's got a -4 break-even. Dangerfield, 102. Sam De Koning, 32. He's actually surprised, I'd say, most people with his cash gen.
Yep.
He's up to 310k now, which people were thinking he was just going to be a slow burner at 123k. Tommy Stewart, 136. And then for the Saints, got Jack Sinclair, 116. Brad Crouch, who I was just talking about, with a break-even of 37. So if he keeps turning up, he's going to jump around 100k. So even if he does drop a bit, he's got money to make for an upgrade to a bigger mid, even though I don't think he will drop much in form. And Jade Gresham, 84. But I feel like if you've got Jade Gresham still, you think he's a keeper and keeping him at that F6 spot.
Awesome. So I've got the next game, which was Sydney versus Essendon. Sydney won by 58, with Essendon playing probably the worst game of football I've seen for a while. The hots for the Swans, Callum Mills, 167, as we said at the start, absolutely smashed it. Errol Gordon, 130. Chad Warner, 118, who's averaging 99.5, which is a big surprise. Franklin, 117. Tom Papley, back to form with 108. Nick the Lizard Blakey, 106. Lukey Parker, back with 105. And I'll put Jake Lloyd here. He scored 98. He almost turned up. And the Colds, I'm just going to put Peter Adams here, who's averaging 91.8, only scored 57. As we move to the break-evens, Paddy McCartan has a 13 break-even, so still more money there. He's 309k, so he's going to keep going up and up. Jakey Lloyd, 76. If you think he's going to turn it around, I still don't think he's an option. Isaac Heaney, 126. Hasn't turned up for a few weeks now. Luke Parker, 128. Doesn't matter, he's a keeper. And Callum Mills, 167 break even, which means he just has to do what he did last time. And then he'll get that. As we move over to the Bombers, Jordan Ridley turned up for once, 113. Darcy Parish, 109. As he moved to the Colds, because they were just piss poor. Dawson Heppel, 70. Dylan Shield, 67, and had a cry that Luke Parker taunted him. Nick Martin, 59, had his lowest score. Zach Merritt, 57. I could probably just go on and on and on. Sam Draper scored 6 as a ruckman.
The Aidan Bonner Club,
which is a disgrace. I'm pretty sure I saw him on -12 at one stage, which was funny. We'll move over to the break evens for Essendon. Ben Hobbs, -41, can really go stuff himself. That pissed me off so much. Zach Reed, 13, for those who jumped on him. Jordan Ridley, 62, so he'll start going up in cash. Nick Martin, 86. He can definitely get that, but he might have hit the wall, so he might be a trade out in the next couple. Darcy Parish, 113. And Zach Merritt, 164. So we get Zach Barrett pretty cheap. As we move into the next game, which Jack will take us through, which is Adelaide and Brisbane.
So yeah, the Crom versus Brizzy won by 36. Getting into the Hots, Rory Laird 142. Jackson Haitley did the Vegeta as well with the Blue Moon, got 110. Jordan Dawson finally found out what it's like to get to triple figures and got 107. Ben Keys doing Ben Keys things in just another ton, 106. And Tom Duday with his half-back roll, 102. He's had some pretty decent scores with this new role he has been playing over the last few weeks. And then I had to chuck him in. Jimmy Rowe got a 94 without kicking a goal. What is this? Moving over to Brizzy, the Big O, Oscar McInerney. No Riley O'Brien. He's gone no worries, 142. Jared Lyons has come out of his shell and turned up for the first time in a very long time with 118. Lockie Neal got 115. Zach Bailey 106, and then Dane Zorko, the man who's going to have DPP in every single position, 103.
He's played midfield as well. He's taken Jared Berry's role.
Getting into the colds, look, it was hard to note anyone from the Crom, so I just put Rochelle 32 just to laugh at him a little bit, I guess. And then for Brizzy, Jared Berry 43, Daniel Rich 93, and Hugh McCluggage 91. Those two could be a bit harsh, but they especially McCluggage has been getting high tons the last couple of weeks, and 91 is a bit of a drop off, but it's nothing to be worried about. No one's perfect. Getting into the break-evens, Benny Keys 129. I don't think he's going to get that high, but expect another ton. He's Mr. Consistent. Saligo, out of nowhere, had a 30-something break-even last week and dropped a 61 bomb, and his break-even has gone back down to 8.
And kept his spot this week.
Yes, so I'm very happy about that. I chucked him in at the start of the season because he was named and just kept him there, and it's paid off, believe it or not.
9 rounds later.
Yeah, exactly. Rochelle, again, just to laugh at him, he's break even to 70. You should have jumped off him last week or the week before, really.
4 weeks ago.
And Rory Laird, 108. Yeah, no, look, he's getting that easily.
Yep.
Over to Brizzy. Funny enough, I was put Daniel Rich cold with a 93, and his break even is 93, so he did his job. Lockie Neal 161, so you can expect him to drop a little bit, but he's Lockie Neal. It doesn't really matter if
he's playing Hawthorn, so he might actually get it.
Yeah, he could. But like Lockie Neal's break even, it doesn't matter. Everyone should have started him, and if they didn't, they're stupid and they brought him in like I did Cripps last week. And Zach Bailey 73 as he's showing a decent forward option. And that's all I've got for that game.
Awesome. So move on to Gold Coast versus Freo. I'd say this is an upset. Gold Coast won by 6 goals, big 36 points. I don't think anyone was expecting that, especially how well Freo have been playing. So the hots for Gold Coast, Took Miller has a 3-round average of 137.3, and he scored 130. Your boy Jared Witts, 113, just keeps chugging along with those tons. Big Marviol Chol, 113, has a 3-round average of 101.7.
I told you last week he's gone Super Saiyan, God Super Saiyan, and 2 weeks in a row he's turned up.
Yep. Brendan Ellis, 106. Will Powelljack, 103. David Swallow, 101. And I'm going to put Isaac Rankin there with 93. As we move over to the colds, I'm going to put Matt Rao with 78. Just a little under what we want. And that's actually all I'm going to talk about for the colds, just because there's no one else of relevance. As we move over to the break evens, Rory Thompson's played 2 games now, averaging 45 in the -16 break even. 123k defender, will probably stay away, even though he scored 51. I wouldn't go near him with a 10-foot pole because he's a key defender. Those who kept roses, he has a break even of 43 after scoring 58. Yeah, he was a massive bust. Matt Rao, 93. It's probably time to jump off him now, I would say. Jared Witts, 113. So he's gone up to 609.2k. So he's at his absolute highest. I would think he could get 113. So he could go up a little bit more, but I don't see it going up too much more. And Took Miller, 120. As we move over to Freo, which is the way to go. So the hots for Freo, Will Brodie, 121. Just keeps going. Fife back soon. If it's not this week, it should be next week.
Next few weeks they were saying tonight. Yeah. I heard next 3, maybe 4.
Yeah. Griffin Logue, 116. He was everywhere. Back to back Jack Caleb Sarong, 111 with a 3-round average of 102. He started to find that breakout performances. Brendan Cox, 108. Blake Akers, 101. Cold, I'm going to put Andy Brayshaw here with a 94. Unfortunately, he's looking like maybe 110, 115 average for the rest of the season, which isn't great. Luke Ryan, 63. 3-round average of 66. For those who have him, you just got to jump off. Shrek Darcy only scored a 51. And that's all I've got to talk about for the colds there. So we move over to the break evens. Caleb's wrong, 36. I wouldn't jump on him though. Will Brodie still only a 48 break even. We'll get that in the first quarter by the way he's going. Andy Brayshaw, 100. So yeah, won't really move too much unless he goes off against Collingwood, which there's a high chance he could. Sean Darcy, 114, could go absolutely massive against the likes of Cameron and Cox, and Luke Ryan, 117. As Jack, you'll take the second last game for the round, which was the Giants versus the Blues.
Yes, and the Blues won by 30. Getting straight into the hots, jelly, 156. He's gone huge.
What did I say?
You did say. And then Braden Bruce, 120, and that's all for the Giants. Let's get on to Carlton's list of about 600 people. With the first name being Sam Walsh, 149. Scored 100 of that in the first quarter, I reckon. 2 goals in like the first 15, 20 minutes. He was massive. George Hewitt back, 121. Love to see it. Jacob Wiedering, 116. He's found his form of last season finally. Adam Kennedy, not Adam Kennedy, that's the Giants player. Matt Kennedy, 110. Sam Doherty, 108. And Jack Silvani, he's gone the Vegeta Blue Moon with 104.
Yeah, funny enough, his scoring's been a lot better since he told Horde Francis that he's shit.
Yeah, and getting into the long list of colds for both teams, believe it or not. Starting off with Toby Green, 27. He's letting us down. Well, people who had him and people who were looking to get him in. Connor Stone is injured. I know he's not playing this week. I don't know what injury it is. Canelio, you don't know yet. Canelio, 37. Lockie Whitfield, a massive 43. Tim Taranto, 69.
Okay.
Naughty bugger. Tom Green, 75. And Isaac Cumming, 89. And I've chucked him in there because, like McCluggage, he's been getting 120s the last few weeks. Going over to Carlton, Zach Williams, a calf injury. It's still a lengthy stint, but better than what was first feared, which is good for him in a way, even though it sucks. It's another soft tissue for him.
Yep.
Your boy Jack Carroll, 28. Charlie Kerner, I've had to chuck in here. Last few weeks he's gone huge, and he had a 64 this week. Adam Sard, an 81, and then last but not least, the curse that I've set on Sir Patrick Cripps with an 83. And at one stage, I'm pretty sure he had, I think it was like 8 disposals, 8 Supercoach points. So that doesn't help a lot. I'm sorry, Paddy. Hopefully the curse goes for a week, or else people might be calling me the male Aussie Kendall Jenner. Going into the break-evens, Adam Sard, 145. Definitely will not get that. Georgie Hewitt, an 89, so he's just going to go up more money. Jack Carroll, of 15. Bit like Maurice, it's not great. We hope for a bounce back this week. Paddy Cripps, 116. Look, I'd back him in to get that, but my curse is around, so it's a high possibility he will not. Sam Doherty, 103, which he bet that this week with 108, so he can definitely top that again. And then Sam Walsh, 116.
Yeah, nice.
That's all I had.
There was a lot of colds for that game, wasn't there? Jesus.
Yeah.
So just a few things. So Woodfield's dropped, so now's a good time to jump off him if you're looking skinny on the defensive bench. Cornelia has been named in the midfield, so if he plays a full game there, maybe under Mark McVeigh, we might see a return to form. I think this week for the Giants, it's just wait and see how they play and what roles they have with a new coach. So I'll move on to the last game, which was West Coast versus Melbourne. West Coast only lost by 74, which is a good margin for them. So the hots for West Coast, Connor West, 123, went absolutely massive. Jeremy McGovern, 115. Tim Kelly, 114. Tom Barras, 112. And Alex Wiverton, 104. You know what? I'm feeling generous. Jack Reynolds scored 99. As we move over to the colds for West Coast, Hugh Dixon only 48.
He got his break even, but it's time to go.
Yeah. Liam Ryan, 16, and Paddy Nash, who I think was the sub, only scored 10. So
I
he's,
think Liam Ryan got injured as well.
yeah. So what's it say here? Liam Ryan. Stop by saying it now.
Left ankle.
Left ankle, there it is.
And Luke Foley also got injured with a knockout.
Yeah. So break-even wise, Greg Clark, -97. Absolute must-have, really. Brady Hoff, if he's named, -2. He's been, in and out of that side, so we'll see how he goes.
He wasn't in, but I'm not sure if it's extended bench or not.
Yeah, it's extended bench. Isaiah Winder is playing, though. He's played 2 games, 123k mid forward, has a break even of 10. I don't know if he holds his spot going forward. I probably doubt it. Jerry McGovern, 70. I'd put him in because he's averaging 99.6. And yeah, that's really who. Alex with it at 149. There you go. There's a name. And Hugh Dixon, 55. I don't know if I said his name before or not, but 55. As we move over to Melbourne, Christian Petrarca, 136. Jack Varney, 129. Keziah Pickett, 107. James Jordan, 100. And I'll put Luke Jackson here, 99. Colds, I'm going to put Clayton Oliver here with 99 just because he should have done a lot better, and we're all expecting a lot better. Max Gord, 73. We knew he had a knee niggle, so we weren't expecting too much. People who had him obviously would have liked a bit more, but that's what he got. And that's it, because there's no one really else worth chatting about. I do think Kane Chandler was a bit unlucky with his tackle that knocked out Foley. It wasn't a sling tackle. It was just one of those things. He pinned the arm and head went into the turf. And he looked pretty distraught afterwards. For a young guy, let's just hope that doesn't stick in his head. But unfortunately, it's just one of those things that happen. So we'll go into the break evens. Keziah Pickett, -14, even though I don't think he's an option there. There's no one of real relevance for Melbourne. We've got Luke Jackson, 86. Jack Bowie, 94. So he's back on the way down. Christian Petrarca, 99. Clayton Oliver, 146. And Max Gorn, 221. So could really drop some big cash, which would be great. And that's all of the games. So Jack, before I sign off, do you have?
Not really. I mean, I saw a lot of people jump on Petrarca this week, which is an interesting one. But apart from that, nah.
Yeah, I think the 3 options for Steele this week are Mills, Laird, and Petrarca, just because Laird and Petrarca have a good stretch of games coming up. And obviously Mills has that ceiling, and usually plays pretty well against Carlton, I believe. So, all right, if that's it, that'll do us for tonight's podcast. Was there anyone that we missed? Let us know down below in the YouTube comments or on Twitter at BreakevensPod. What is your rank? and what are you looking to do trade wise? Let us know on those socials. Thank you all again for your support. Again, 200 followers, that is great. Let's push for 300 by the end of the season. I think that would be a good spot to be. So don't forget to hit us up on Twitter at Breakevens Pod and on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, The Breakevens. So good luck for round 10. And on that note, as always, until next time, it's bye for now.
See ya.